resume recording, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Just want to say thank you to, a small but mighty group who's joined us tonight. Get a chance to talk a little bit about den meeting recruitment. Heather Kozlowski is going to kind of pretty much run the whole show tonight. She actually did this with her den last month and had a lot of good success. So I think hearing from somebody who's done it is going to be a great benefit to the two of you that have joined us, and for those that watch it later, I think it'll benefit them as well. So from there, I didn't use my whole 5 minutes. I don't think anybody's too sad about that. I'll throw it over to Heather and go from there.
Great, thank you. So, and Michael, you are a club master. What's your role, Michael?
Yeah, I'm a cub master and also a den leader.
And which den are you responsible for?
I do currently the tigers and wolves, although I'm trying to move the tigers off to someone else.
Okay, well, we can talk about that too. I know we talked a little bit about that in our roundtable too. And Christopher, I don't know if you're able to talk, but what's your role?
I am the cub master for 233. I also do den leader for Arrow of Light, and currently am doing the planning for the bears, wolves, and tigers, because my tiger leader went into quarantine and my bear leader got a new job, and my wolf leader, I haven't seen him for a while. So I just kind of make the plan and throw it off to whatever parent happens to be sitting there.
Okay, it sounds like you have your plate full for sure. I'm sorry, what was the unit number again? I'm sorry.
233.
And where is that out of?
South Milwaukee.
South Milwaukee, gotcha. Okay. And my current club unit I'm with is PAC 251 out of St. Nat's in Oak Creek. And I'm also part of Troop 218 out of Oak Creek as well. And I used to be out of 321 in Oak Creek. I have a 21-year-old eagle and a 6-year-old tiger, so kind of crazy. But anyway, so that helps me kind of focus our conversation a little bit about what your interest level might be. So I'm just going to share what my process was to be able to find some new recruits in this difficult time. I know we're used to our school nights and our orientation days where we're able to set up tables or tents and just kind of have those sign-up sheets out and those activities, and that's really tough right now in our current environment. I'm an HR manager by trade. That's what I get paid to do. So I'm a lot about reaching out to people and making connections and talking people into doing stuff. So that kind of goes hand in hand with scouts in a lot of ways. And I kind of use some of those skills in when I'm talking about reaching out to parents and introducing them to the program. So I guess number one, in my opinion, is don't be shy and be really welcoming and upbeat and that kind of good stuff. But number one on our list here is I suggest planning an event, whether it be maybe a meeting that's already planned. But what I did was I planned a campfire in my backyard. And I started by sending an email to all of the, we don't have a girl den. So I have 7 tigers, boys, and our pack had never had girls before. So I sent an email to all the moms in my son's class. And after this meeting, I'll email you kind of the form letter that I used, and you guys can use it or chop it up or do whatever you need to do with it. But my approach was, hey, did you hear all the fun the boys are having? Because in our school, like, the boy moms are really close and we do a lot of stuff together because we're in scouts, and kind of the girl moms really aren't part of our club. And I'm like, hey, come join the fun with us. Did you hear that? We built birdhouses last year, and we raced Pinewood Derby cars, and I listed a bunch of stuff. So come join the fun. And so I invited them over for a campfire at my house. And my approach is I ran it as a typical den meeting. So So once I got in, and it was a little bit of selling of, so I sent out the email and then I waited, and then I sent a kind of a follow-up to maybe an individual mom, say, hey, Samantha, did you get my email? Do you think Hazel will be interested? Or I sent a text message. Hey, Leslie, do you think you're interested in checking it out and just come and have fun with us? Just come and come to the campfire and just learn what we do. And then no commitment, no pressure, just come have fun is really what my message was. And so so a couple other ideas, if you don't want to have a campfire, you know, a county park, a playground, a garage, all possibilities. We've been doing a lot of RDEN meetings in county, in city parks lately in Oak Creek. Chris, if you're still looking for meeting space, Henry Miller Park is a great little pavilion with indoor options. Salvation Army also has options as well in Oak Creek that they're willing to give scout units free meeting space. So FYI, if you need that for your dens.
Awesome.
Once I got the email out, it was a little, then I said, hey, Hazel and Emma are interested. Anybody else want to join the fun with them? Because sometimes when you say, I got a couple interested, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, if Hazel's doing it, I'm going to go do it. You know, so it was a couple follow-ups to that to kind of just keep the conversation going. So if you don't have that personal email, and there's a couple other, you know, look for a school directory, maybe ask a teacher to send a blast out to you. Some of your schools are willing to do that. Hey, Mrs. Smith, here's a letter. Would you mind sending this out to the classroom? And here's an invite. Another one, I also, maybe I don't have a direct relationship with a parent, but one of my friends does. So I've asked the K-5 mom to send out the invites for the Lions, instead of it coming from me, who I have closer relationships with the first grade moms. So maybe think who in your group could be a better contact to talk somebody into something and to come into the invite. Facebook geofencing. So if you are going to do an event, let Nathan know and he can set up a geofence event where that will basically send out a public notice that people can come to your event as well on Facebook. But for me, it's all about the personal approach and inviting people that aren't part of the program. I actually invited, so through COVID, so there's 10 boys in my son's class total. And I had 6 sign up in our normal school night sign up. And then through COVID, I knew the children weren't doing anything. So I sent out emails to those other 4 parents saying, you're welcome to join our Zoom call. You're welcome to come on our outing. And 2 said, I'm not interested, no thanks. It's not our thing. And two came to the meetings. So I got 2 more boys too, just by, hey, we're meeting on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Here's the invite. You're welcome to join us. We're building electric motors this week. So I guess persistence is, I guess, my other message of, it's not just about sending out that one email. It's about sending the email and then following up and then trying to reach out directly if you can. But asking the teacher to do the blast, maybe posting it on, if your school has a newsletter or a Facebook page, or, you know, think of these kind of non-traditional communication methods that we're using now instead of flyers to get the word out about your event. And I guess for me, I'm not that interested in coming to a sign up per se. Hey, come sign up for Cub Scouts. Not that interesting. For me, I want to hear about what kind of fun am I going to have. So, hey, come build rockets with us at the Cub Scout meeting, or come cook some s'mores with us, or come do some crafts, or come up with something to say, come have fun, and then hopefully that turns into the kids having fun and the parents seeing them have fun, and that turns into them then signing up. So for me, I ran my meeting as a den meeting. So I got all the scouts together, we stood in a circle, we said the Pledge of Allegiance. I had my den chief with me. So the den chief then, and we did a couple gathering activities. We did an icebreaker where we all introduced ourselves. I do one where it's out of the Lion book. You toss a ball across and you say, hi, my name's Heather and I like to go canoeing. And then you throw it over to Cortland and Cortland says, hi, my name's Cortland. I like going biking. And then Cortland sends it to, and it gets the kids talking and the parents talking. So some kind of icebreaker. And then I had the kids break off I had 3 activity stations. So one was a craft where they made bracelets. I had set up on a card table, and the den chief helped with that. Well, I pulled the parents off to my patio area and we talked scouts. So the kids were having fun doing their bracelets. And I said, okay, moms, what do you want to know about scouting? We meet as a den twice a month. We meet as a pack once a month. We do outings usually once a month. This is the cost. I had an example of a uniform. Talked about the basics, like what am I really getting myself into? I personally talk a lot about my personal experience in scouting. My college kid, my 21-year-old Eagle happened to be around that day. And I'm like, scouting for me is about his future. And I know it's really hard to understand that in first grade right now, but believe it or not, this Cub Scout stuff is going to lead to Boy Scout stuff. And that's going to lead to job leads. And in my son's story, it led to, he worked at the Scout office as an intern. He worked at Scout camp. He got multiple Eagle Scout scholarships. He works in the chancellor's office now, all tied to scouting. All that happened because he signed up as a Cub Scout. And I don't talk about that a lot because first grade parents, that's really hard to understand right now, but that really is the big picture. At least, and I wish I could get every first grade mom to go to an Eagle Border review, because you're like, gosh, if they could all understand that, because it's really cool at the end of the day. One thing a scout, kind of another interesting line to share maybe, a mom shared this with me last night about what got her hooked on scouting. She said she went to a recruitment event with her 9-year-old son, and the DE that was running the event said, when your son is 9 years old, you've now spent more time with him than you will the rest of his life. And that's what scouting does, is gives you time to continue doing that and spending time. And she's like, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to spend time with my baby. So, stuff like that will, does speak to people. So explain the program, explain the fundraising costs. Different units run their funds a little bit differently. What's your sign-up cost? How does your fundraising work? What does that cover? What are your outing costs? Don't get too technical, but give them the highlights. At the same time, the kids are having fun and smiling. And then we did start a campfire, and then all the kids with the den chief made campfire s'mores. So I had paper plates set up on a card table with ingredients all laid out. So no dirty little hands were going into the marshmallow bag or the chocolate chip bag. I had them all laid out in individual plates. So they still built their burrito, but they had everything they needed on their plate. So they took those. So I had a piece of tin foil and a tortilla, and some mini marshmallows and chocolate chips, and the kids rolled those all up. And then the den chief helped them put it in the fire. And all that was happening again while I was talking to the parents. If you don't have a den chief, you should get one. If you don't want to get one, then you should get another parent to help you with the event. Or I can send one over for you. I do that. But anyway, and then once they were done with that activity, the kids played a game. So the den chief ran some kind of game that she had organized. So so that was the event. And then I do hand out applications, and I think the scout advice is to have them fill out on the spot and collect checks. It's probably good advice. I did send them home, and then I had to track them down. And I did get them all back. So I had now I think I have 5 girls that signed up with 4 tigers and 1 lion is our current girl den. But anyway, I think the highlights there are pick a location, pick an activity, have them come, run it like a meeting so they can see what a meeting actually is, so they can see the value of the actual program. And then I did a closing. So I brought them all back together, and we talked about what we're doing at our next meeting, that we're going on a hike at Whitnell Park. I hope you come. It's going to be on this date. I invited them all. And then I followed up with an email with the location and the time for them to come and join us on the next activity, which was a hike. And they all showed up, which was cool. So there you go. Being prepared with a calendar, who to contact when they have questions. Like I said, next meeting date and time. And with some kind of hard sell, like, did you guys all have fun? You know, scream, or let me hear your tiger roars, or something like that. And again, it's about having fun, but you want the parents to see them have fun. So like, oh gosh, I want this for my child. They look so happy. Isn't this wonderful? You know, that's what you want them to leave feeling. So certainly paper applications are still a thing. You can use that. You can download them off the website, or you can go to beascout.org and sign up very easily as well. Are all options. You know, the other thing I do besides the actual event is I am continuing to follow up with some of the moms that told me they were interested, but I'm not sure yet. So I still invite them to meetings coming up. I send that personal, hey, just to let you know, we're meeting at Miller Park for a Halloween party next week. You're welcome to join us, you know, and I'll keep sending those until somebody tells me to stop. So it's just an idea. That's the truth. I've had people tell me stop, and I do, but usually they show up if you're persistent enough. And then once they come and have fun, it's like, you know, and I also sell the idea of like, scouting for me is these are my friends. This is a group of people that my personal closest friends are the parents that my 21-year-old grew up with. So, you know, it's about parent relationships too, as well as for the children. I think that's a really important part, especially for elementary school children. Parents are looking for where they fit in too. So make sure they see that. Mike, is that helpful at all for you, or what do you think about all that business?
No, yeah, I got a bunch of page full of good ideas from what you just laid out.
Okay, was there anything was like, whoa, I didn't think about that, or kind of, yeah, I know that stuff? What do you think? Do you guys?
What kind of fun am I going to have?
I'm sorry.
I've got a note. What kind of fun am I going to have? Kind of trying to think of what the cornerstone be, and like, because we've also talked about that at Baloo training. We were talking about how when you're planning like a den meeting, plan it around doing something fun, and then figure out a way to make it fit advancement. Whereas in the past, sometimes
Oh,
done advancement first over, fun stuff. So I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. Also,
yeah, it is
I hadn't thought of.
scouting to me is about a big part of it is new experiences, right? So having figuring out how to fit that fun into our program or vice versa. I can do it either way, but yeah, I mean, have you guys typically, Christopher, have you typically just done the sign up night, or do you invite them to an event?
We usually start with the sign up night. And then after that, whoever doesn't show up, we usually send out another flyer 2 weeks into school, and then hold like some kind of event to invite them to, like a rain gut or regatta or something like that.
Does that follow up help? Does it work
Yeah, it usually brings in
more?
more people. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's, we can't, they didn't go to school. So I couldn't load
Yeah,
people's folders with flyers, and I couldn't have the teacher
yeah.
blast off emails because nobody was leaving their house.
Are your kids still on virtual right now?
They just went back to hybrid this past Wednesday, so they're there 2 days a week now.
And I think Oak Creek is going, they're in hybrid right now, and I think they're going virtual after tonight's school board meeting. I'm at St. Matt's, and we're still 100% face to face. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
But I'm a very lucky full-time working mother, but having my child in school. But yeah, so it really shut down those normal avenues that we took, and that's why I went on the email campaign. But again, I think we all need to remember that most, like our soccer season was canceled. All of our Catholic kids are normally playing soccer right now, and nobody's playing soccer. So let's do scouts, and let's give these kids something to do. So continue to try to invite them to things. I actually heard of an approach a different PAC has done. This is a non-COVID year idea I just wanted to share is they said they used to do the typical sign up at the orientation day, and it was really hot in the gym and kind of a drag. They turned it upside down a little bit, and they set up a tent outside the entrance and turned it into an activity station. And they ran competitions on who can tie square knots the fastest, and anyone who tied a square knot got a Cub Scout pencil to take home and an invite to the next meeting. And they had a 5-gallon cooler of one of those 5-gallon liquid coolers, and they had a sign on it called bug juice, and everyone was like, ooh, what's that? I want to try the bug juice, So again, Cub Scouts is not about the sign-up sheet. That's boring. It's about the activity and pull those kids in with some fun right away and be silly about it because they're gonna love it. Hey Scott, thanks for joining. Is there any questions I can answer for you? I'm not sure if you have a mic available. All right. Any other ideas, guys? Anything that I missed that you've been thinking about doing? No, not really. That's why you're here.
Right. Whatever ideas we can get.
Yeah, Chris, have you tried the like posting on Facebook or asking the teacher to shoot out a blast for an event or anything like that? Have you tried any of those ideas?
We've tried that in the past. Our principal is pretty adamant against sending electronic emails off to. She doesn't like giving emails out to groups.
I see. So you don't have like a family directory out?
No, unfortunately we do not, even though it would be incredibly helpful.
Yeah, that I definitely have an advantage there. My question is, so maybe she's not willing to give you the emails, but is she willing to send the email for you? Like, hey, I'm not asking for the directory, but would you be willing to share this for us? Might be an idea. For example, again, I'm in the HR lady. People will say, I want to send a get well card to whoever's in the hospital, I'll send it for them. I can't give you their address, but I will, I'll send that card. I'll take the card and actually put the address and mail it myself for them, for example. Make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can ask her.
You can ask her, you never know. And if you can't get it, I bet within your group of parents you have right now, you all have your circle of friends within the school. It maybe task each parent to invite 5 new people to the next meeting. Just send the invite. They have each other's emails or phone numbers. Say, hey guys, we're really trying something new here. We have limited resources. Can everyone try to invite X number of people? Might be an idea. Task each person. Thanks. We had luck with asking the principal. Make sure your information is up to date and follow up. Yeah. So Scott just shared that he had luck asking the principal to share that for him. That's great to hear. That and be prepared for if you're sending out an invite and you have your email address in there, and you get an email, you got to follow up right away. You can't sit on it. Don't let it sit in your inbox for a day or two. You got to respond and say, oh, thanks so much. I'm so glad to hear from you. Nothing drives you crazy. You're trying to sign up for something and no one responds to you in 2 weeks, right? That's
Right.
days. All right, guys, I think that's all I had planned. Portland, did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to giving this a shot, trying it yourself, and being willing to share the ideas. I've talked with our staff and a handful of volunteers over the last several months about getting ready for recruitment, getting ready for getting back into the program after COVID and the summer and everything. And it's at this point, any idea. This is very much I would say anything that you can think of, including the kitchen sink. Let's throw it out there and see what sticks. This is not just a Three Harbors Council challenge. This is a challenge for the Boy Scouts of America in every council, in every district, in every unit in the country right now, because we're all going through the same thing.
And I think in every youth program, and it's not just Boy Scouts. But I really want to emphasize the idea that I don't think we've capitalized like we should on the idea of these kids have nothing else to do. That is the truth. Please invite them to scouting because they want to do something, and scouting's awesome. So
I fully agree, and this is one of the nice things about scouting is we can continue to do scouting when we've got these types of challenges where Heather even mentioned the soccer kids, they're not playing soccer right now, but our scouts, they can keep scouting right now. So let's make sure that we're offering them that opportunity and offering those families that haven't engaged in scouting the opportunity to at least give us a shot. Scouting may not be for everybody, but the opportunity is there for everybody.
I just noticed on the agenda, did you want to share some in-person meeting ideas and virtual meeting ideas? Or these things people are interested in right now, or?
I mean, if somebody has some out there, I'm more than happy to hear them, and if we can continue to share them out there, we'll do our best to get word out to all of our unit leaders.
Okay.
Pull the cars out of the garage and meet in your garage if you have to.
Yeah.
Sure. I've personally found a lot of success. So both of you guys are from South Milwaukee. I'm going to guess, check with Mike, do you have meeting space at this point?
Currently, we've been meeting at the big park near the school that we normally meet at. It's still kind of looking for a place for the winter, at least like a covered thing, or else maybe we might have to move our meetings to weekends during the day. But so far, the weather's actually been pretty nice and gives the kids a chance to run around. But it's been different kind of working in a giant open space versus gym in the basement of a school.
So I just moved my den meeting. I moved my time up usually we meet at 6:30. I moved it to 5:30 this last week so we could get some sunlight in with our meeting. And all the parents were able to make it work, so that was great. I know a number of PACs have moved their meetings to the weekends so they can have the daylight and outside time. So that's an idea. I do know Oak Creek Salvation Army will give you space if you contact Tony. He will ask you to ring bells at some point as a service project for them, and I think it's a fair ask. Two other indoor meeting spaces is we've just moved our PAC meetings to St. John's Gym. That's on, I think it's 27th Street, but don't quote me on that. But the rec department usually runs their basketball programs out of there. I know you guys aren't Oak Creek residents. I know I get it for free, but I would just call and see if you want that space. That's what we're doing. The other one is in my area is Henry Miller Park. That's right by the Oak Creek High School. And that's really a nice space for den meetings, especially because there's a pond and there's really big hardwood, nice play area. And then there's an indoor pavilion with bathrooms that Oak Creek residents can get for free, but I'm sure it's some kind of reasonable cost for nice South Milwaukee people. So, so those are my ideas. Otherwise, so maybe check with South Milwaukee Rec, and they may have spaces that you can, that you have available to yourself as well. But otherwise, Tony Salvation Army will take care of you, so give them a call.
One thing I was thinking of doing was reaching out to our county supervisor. And I know like near us, Wilson Park has a big room that in the past they would rent out. And I was going to see how much they would charge, if there'd be any sort of discount for scouts or anything, especially because I'm pretty sure my county supervisor was involved in scouting when he was a kid, if I remember correctly.
So maybe you don't need code. I would approach it by saying, hey, I'm trying to keep my scout program alive and well for these kids. Can you give me that space? So through COVID or something like that. I wouldn't offer any money. He can figure it out. See what he says. And then, if there are some units that I do know are very, I personally feel I can do in-person meetings safely. We do require masks in my den meetings and in my PAC meetings and my troop meetings. Yes, the children are not always socially distant, but we do make an effort to have family seating. Is our approach to it. We do a lot of stationed activities. So this month we're doing a carnival where families are going to go station to station and do different games and activities. And everything will be sanitized after each family goes through. And we're going to do a service project actually too. We're going to do a Boo Your Neighbor, where we're making treat bags and everyone's going to leave treats by their neighbors' houses with little pack notes from them. So a little bit of advertising for us. Just and another, so anyway, those are a couple of ideas for you, but I'm all about the stationed activities and about outdoor. We've done a lot of hiking, we've done a lot of fishing, things like that. And the kids, Whitnell Lake is a great spot for club hiking. Waterfall is not that great right now, but it's still fun to go out there. Bender Park, there's Lions Den Gorge, if you're up for a drive up to Grafton, is a nice spot to take a pack to. So anyway, those are some ideas.
I would also tell you that both our camps are available if your PACs want to meet there. Do PAC meetings, den meetings, troop meetings as well. We're looking at hopefully being able to soon be able to open the People Power Learning Center, the basement of the Scout office in Milwaukee. Not totally certain when that's going to be available, but hopefully soon. We'll have some more information on that as the COVID task force is able to review everything. So that'll be available again, safety precautions and all that stuff. But yeah, we've also got, our facilities available too for your use. So,
And I know that a PAC just used the Firebolt out at Odakota and had a PAC meeting this last weekend. Skits, they did my burrito s'mores, they did songs, they did a whole program, and it was awesome. They said they really enjoyed it. So I'm really hoping to talk my PAC into, it's a little bit of a drive for us on from Oak Creek in South Milwaukee. But I'm hoping to make it out there because I think it'd be a really nice time.
Yeah. So.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. I hope it was helpful. I hope you got a couple ideas that's useful for you, and good luck with your youth. I really do wish you well.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
so much.
everybody for joining us.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You too.